Hey, so I'd like to give you an update as to how it's going writing and getting towards publishing my memoir. First of all, what's the difference between a memoir and an autobiography? An autobiography, you're telling your whole life story. Memoirs, you're focusing in on a period of your life that you want to talk about. So, in my story, I'm focusing on how my life was impacted by other people's alcoholism, more specifically, my late husband, who died of alcoholism, and how my life really evolved after his death. So, writing my memoir. So I did some writing during the time when my husband was alive. Did a lot of writing in the last month of his life, which was on Caring Bridge, just kind of opening up to people about what was happening with his end of life story and how that impacted me and my kids. And I thought at that time, I was like, well, I might have a book here. And people had suggested that I may be able to write a book. So in that year following, I did some more journaling and just kind of put it on hold a little bit because life happened. And after a couple of years, I decided, let's do something with this. So, how do you write a memoir? How do you publish a memoir? So, first, start with the concept of a plan. So, I reached out to a couple of hybrid publishers. After doing some research, I realized I didn't want to do like the online self publishing route that you can do like through Amazon or some other options. That just wasn't for me. It's for some people, not for me. Um, and then you can also do like the traditional publisher route, but you have to get like an agent and all this. Wasn't for me. So then I went with the route of hybrid publisher, where it's kind of like an a la carte. That's what my term is, anyways, where they provide a concierge service with different types of levels of editing and marketing support, everything that you need to publish a book, but you can kind of pick and choose the type of support that you might need. So I went with them and started with the developmental editing. Because again, I had like a concept of a plan, but I didn't really know how my memoir was supposed to come together. I had some journal entries. I had my Caring Bridge post for my husband. I had some additional information that I wanted to include, but I had it like in three parts. But I wasn't really sure how to like mesh it all together. The developmental editing was super duper helpful with putting it all together. Uh, Initially, I got my results back. And so I reached out to my publisher in March of 24, handed them what I had. And by the end of May, I had my developmental editing feedback returned. But based on what was going on in my life at that time, I had a couple of big projects going on personally. I had gotten a new job, single mom at this point, widowed, two kids, and my son is in traveling sports, and so I was really busy. I could not focus. I tried to like read the feedback and incorporate it and start kind of rewriting my book, and I just couldn't. It caused me more stress to try to do that. So I was like, I just need to set it aside, and when the time is right and I'm in the right headspace, I'll do it. And that's what happened. So fast forward to November 2024. I was inspired. I had started following some Facebook groups for writers, and someone had like a workshop one Saturday, and that just really helped me kind of like listening into some other people's memoir journey, and they were kind of helping each other out, reading part of their stories, and I thought, okay, I can do this. So I got inspired. 3 months later, I had my rewrite done. Essentially, I went through all of the feedback from the developmental editor and basically like rewrote my story with the formatting that was recommended, and I completely agreed with all of the feedback. It was really 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 helpful. So turned that in. Meanwhile, I have like a project manager. I've met with her and let her know kind of periodically, like, this is where I'm at in the process. I had been earlier on working with a marketing person. She was doing some initial metadata researching with like kind of based on what my story was about, keywords, looking, writing my bio, my Amazon listing, kind of all of that stuff, the back end stuff that I would have no idea like I didn't even know that was something that would have to be done. I'm a nurse. I'm not a publisher. So, you hire the people that know what they're doing. So, and she was helping me with like the name of my book. Like, apparently I shouldn't have used my first idea of the name of the book because it wouldn't have maybe brought up, like, people wouldn't have found it. Another one, there was like a romance novel series that had like the same name as a book title that I had thought of. So a couple of the ideas I just had to and that kind of threw me off too. So I'm like, what am I going to come up with for my name of my book? And that like really kind of threw me for a loop. But I appreciated the feedback. I mean, ultimately, it's my choice. I could have still gone with either one of those names, but obviously, I'm paying for their professional advice. And if they think that people are not going to find my book online because of the title, what good is all this work, right? So I went back to the drawing board and finished my book. And then um, in that process, I came up with my new title and got it turned in. So now I'm at like the next level of editing. And that should be back in by the beginning of April 2025. So a little over a year because I took all that time to like process and not work on my book. Otherwise, I probably would be a lot further along. And then meanwhile, I'm also going back with my marketing person, refreshing my metadata based on some tweaks to the book that I had made. And then I'm also starting the cover design. Like, oh, cool. Like, what kind of font do you like? What kind of design? I gave some ideas on things like covers that I might got like a couple of different personal pictures that I thought might be helpful, or an image. Again, it's my choice, but I want their advice. I don't know if like the ideas that I provided would be good or not. So I'm, looking forward to getting their feedback. And, based on every little tweak that you make, it will impact the cost of the book. So if I wanted to add pictures inside of the book, do I want to add color? Do I want the formatting, the page number, all that stuff, it makes a difference. So I really, really appreciate all of the professional advice that I'm getting. So at this point, I've turned in my little worksheet for my marketing and my cover design, and my editing is in progress. So, I expect in April, the beginning of April, to get back my next level of editing. This should be a lot easier for me to work through. It's not like I'm totally rewriting the book like I did with the developmental editing. The book it just needs to be more polished and some more fine tweaks. So that's where I'm at now. And, I don't know how quickly it like gets on the shelves. It takes time because I have to like print the book, and then a couple months later, blah, blah, I have to set the price of the book. It's like so exciting. Could I have, again, just got online, self-published, did some sort of like Amazon thing? Sure. And that's the right choice for some people. It's not the right choice for me. I really want to feel confident about the book that I'm putting out there. I really do want to try to change lives with the story that I'm telling. I want people to know that just because they have been around alcoholism the majority of their life, and even though you may or may not be an alcoholic, I'm not, it really impacts your health in a negative way. And breaking the patterns of always being around people with addiction, it's really, really difficult, and it takes a lot of soul searching. So I talk about that process, and I bring in some tools in the story that helped me to move forward and live in a more positive life. And me and my kids are doing fantastic. My daughter's 6, my son is 12. We're very active, we're very happy, we're very well balanced, normal, um, which I think is very telling. It speaks to our journey and the way that we've coped with all of the challenges that we've faced. So thanks for listening, and I hope this is helpful for anyone that may be also considering writing a memoir or publishing their first book. Love and light to you.